Hello and welcome to SMB Connect Spotlight. Once again, it's a great pleasure for me to host this session. This is the platform for leaders to share the knowledge, share their experiences with younger generation, inspire them, and make them feel the right to take the right kind of decisions for their future endeavor. Automation and digitization is the new mantra, and today's interaction is focusing on that. My name is Sandeepan Ray. I'm the founder director of SMB Connect. We are one of the largest network of SMEs across India. SMB Connect focuses on building knowledge sessions and creating opportunities for small and medium businesses. We have organized over 100 conferences, seminars across India in the last few years. And apart from interacting with business leaders, we have organized various webinars, panel discussions during this ongoing pandemic. All our online sessions and conference videos are available on our YouTube channel. At the beginning of 2021, we have published an ebook, Game Plan 2021, Vision 2025. 25 well-known personalities have authored, contributed in creating this ebook. You can get access to this ebook on SMB Connect website. In today's session, I have Mr. Vaibhav Narkar, who is the Honorary President of International Society of Automation's Maharashtra chapter. So, hello, Mr. Vaibhav Nakar. Welcome to SMB Connect Spotlight. Thank you very much for giving your time. We'd like to understand from you what's the role ISA as a global body and ISA Maharashtra plays in today's business environment.
Okay, thank you for this basically opportunity uh, from SMB. Thank you, Sandeepan. Basically, ISA is the say non-profit organization which is the many of the say instrumentation or automation engineers worldwide. They are come together and they form this association in the say 75 years back. So this is basically 75 years old association in globally in USA, headquarters in USA. And in terms of ISA Maharashtra section, so we are the say subsidiary or maybe the body from the local body or the section for this ISA headquarters globally. So there are some districts like 14 to 16 districts all over world, and then this the one of the section districts in the Asia Pacific, that is District 14, and I say Maharashtra or India comes into District 14, and this with this I say Maharashtra we have different bodies altogether in India, I say Delhi, I say Nagpur, maybe Gujarat, I say Bangalore, South India. So total nine sections are there in India as well. So this is completely District 14 consists of complete Asia. So this is big organizations. Totally, I think globally it's around 40,000 plus members we are. All are say Bachelor of Engineering, Masters of Engineering. Basically, all are from the engineering background. And so these are the ISA works with many of the industrial standards like cyber securities. Then there are safety standards, hazardous area. It's a technical standards. So you can this with the process automation you will have, or you can see view these standards from your this one. And this is worldwide. Say membership is through globally. You cannot take a membership of ISA Maharashtra or District 14. You have to take a membership of ISA USA. That is directly on the this one. And ISA has our communication tool that we called as ISA Connect. It's like LinkedIn. So you can discuss with the any of the member of the ISA in the globe. So any topic, any of the things you can discuss with the any of the member. So it's a vast, cumulatively, it's a vast experience basically to all of us.
So
So
when
this
you
is
talk
about
about
the ISA.
So I just to understand, so if I can understand correctly, your focus is on process automation, apart from other things which is coming up as part of the businesses. Am I correct in understanding that?
It is not a process automation. It's complete. You can say not only for the process, but for the all the industries.
Okay. So which are the industries who are member of this ISA globally? Which kind of organizations can become a member? And in India, yeah, what are the who are the key members? And in Maharashtra, if you can just tell some of the names so that. And can a small business be part of an ISA association?
Yes. Basically, this ISA is the body which is a member concentric, not a company concentric. Means any of the company cannot be a member of the ISA. It is the only member who is the graduated in the engineering that he can be the member.
Okay.
So, if organization wants to connect with ISA, you have to you have to connect through your members to your employees. So your employees should be our member, not the company. So this is one thing, and secondly, so you ask about the many of the industries we are connected, and basically, I wanted to highlight here we have say all sectors or all say all positions of the people, all positions people, like from the higher management through the to the say junior or trainees, and the say big corporates to small SMEs or MSMEs, like that. So it's a completely member concentric organization. It is not with the company or organization connected this one. So all the organizations attached with us is through members. Like some of the members, like say for example BPCL, HPCL, these are the say Navratna companies of India. Like EIL is one of them. So these are the say uh, we have a member from this company.
Hmm.
So why are the members
So
we are attached each other?
So you basically help individuals who have engineering, who have passed out from engineering or a member of SCA in enhancing their skill sets and knowledge and experience among themselves.
Yes, but I say to add in your statement, we are say we are connected with this from the student phase.
Okay.
We have around, as I say Maharashtra, I'm saying we have around say 350 plus student members. We have a student member also. We have a sections in the college which is affiliated to ISM Maharashtra, which
Hmm.
is we called as a student section, which is the engineering college, engineering students basically. And then they become a member of ISA. So we called as a professional members. So we
Hmm.
have some say sometimes some types of say giveaway to the students, like they took a membership in the final year of ISA section, which is a discounted membership, say discounted membership to the students, and they can be a member for 1 year or say after your graduation in that same uh, membership dues or pays.
Okay. So
So
so I
we
am.
started our roots from the students basically.
So what is the role association plays to this member? So if you can elaborate on that, and since you are talking about students also become member, and there's a huge gap of knowledge and the skill sets of specifically graduate engineering graduate coming out of colleges and the
Right.
skills and the need of industry. Are you able to fulfill that kind of a gaps? Are you working towards that?
Absolutely yes. And this is the say vision of our ISM Maharashtra section. So we say we called ourselves as a bridge between the industry and the education. So basically, what we are doing, so many of the these college professors are our members, our professional members. So they always called us for the lectures in the colleges. So they are getting easily, they are the part of this ISA Connect. So they are getting easily all the expert lecturers, expert examiners, or maybe they say for the technical tech talks. So basically, this
Mm-hmm.
organization is a technical organization and it's a
Yes.
non-profit organization. So we don't want to be making a profit in this all these things basically. And in terms of students members, what you rightly said, there is a huge gap between the education and the industry. So that gap we cannot bridge with the help of only education system. You need a parallel body for the from the industry. So we are providing that expertise to the engineering colleges.
So do you help, yeah, the colleges and education in terms of creating curriculum for them? And if you have done anything, if you
Yes,
can elaborate something on that.
y- yes, we are. Some of our members are, say, many of the members, not the some of the, so many of our members are a member on the colleges for the advisory board. So I'm on the, say, for me, I'm two colleges. I'm a member for the advisory board for the curriculum, or maybe the say labs, how to set up a labs. All this we are visiting to college, and we are having some meetings, discussions, and then we can conclude on this.
Okay. I'd like to ask you about now most of the you have members who are from different industry. May they are industries can be a smaller industry who the owner can be a member of your being a graduate, he can be a member of your body, or organizations which are as large as ONGCs and BPCL. Their top-notch people or key stakeholders are also a member of your organization. I need to understand from you, based, I don't know whether you have done any study or have you found what is the impact of any owner member organizations who are basically running their own organization or a member of your of this association. Uh, can you elaborate like, if you have any studies been done to find out the impact of this pandemic on them and if as an association are you working towards to support them in some way or other?
Yeah, basically one part of this organization. This is I explained you the say first part is the student part, student
Yes.
or say root of this organization. Then if I come to the section part or the second part of this or say organization is basically networking. So all of the members we are meeting monthly, bi-monthly, or maybe within a 15 days to the one of the hotel or maybe the conference hall, and we are giving a chance to the new entrepreneurs to showcase their product, showcase their technology, and all of the members we have from say junior trainees to the higher management, say all the head of the department, general manager, and above. So these people are coming to these events, and these people say a new entrepreneur or the small business say organization, they get a chance to interact with these guys. So they get a basically they get a chance for their say networking or businesses, explore the businesses. And
Okay,
this
so
during the pandemic, what you asked during the pandemic, we are connected through, of course, virtually. Everybody is connected through virtually. So we are doing these meetings virtually. In fact, we have done big program last month with the PPPA. This is called as Power, Petroleum, and Process Automation Meet. Last year we did it at Taj, Santa Cruz. Last two in February 2020, just before Corona.
mhm.
So every year we are doing such things. So nowadays it's a through webinar or through virtual platform.
Since you have talked about this power petroleum process automation meet, which happened last year, and you recently did this maybe a couple of months back. Tell me about
Okay.
that particular event. How is it, what is the key objective, and we are able to meet these objectives or not?
The same thing what I explained just before. This is the say given a chance to the all automation stakeholders, or to say give us a platform to the all the stakeholders. So the motto of this program is to all the stakeholders comes together and they can discuss everything, because it's a give and take mutual win-win situation to all, because all are busy with the say suffering from this pandemic. So new say, organizations, small organizations, they required a platform to present their products. So we have given this platform, and as well as those who are interested, willing to adopt new technologies. So we have discussed this technologies in this event. So this is we called as post-COVID era, digitalization into post-COVID era, like that.
So can you elaborate the digitalization in post-COVID era? What are the technologies which you expect to come in, or what are the technologies people are adopting in India? And for any growing business, is something which you can take it from there.
Actually, if you see, we had this 2 days conference, and I am also presenting one of the say multinational called as Vega India from the Germany. I'm a regional head over here. So this is I say this is for the automation. This pandemic is the opportunity. If you see the positive side of this pandemic, right? One concept is say there is one concept is farm to table.
Mm-hmm.
Farm to table is a complete automation to the restaurant industry, or you can say agriculture industry. So people wants to take it to the say complete robotic solutions, or maybe the process automation. So adoption of this technology. So we discuss over there. Then the smart IoT we have discussed. Then if you said digitalization, say for example, data analytics. We have discussed the data analytics, data artificial intelligence. So all these are the opportunities during the say post COVID, because post COVID nobody wants say actual touch or actual this one to each other. People wants everything, but people wants at doorstep without a human interference.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the digitalization.
Agree. I
Like you can
understood that.
say early days we used to pay by cash. Then cards comes, so we have given a card for the swapping, right? And then Wi-Fi cards comes, so the no need to swap the cards. Only just you need to go near to the machine, and then they can swap. You can through swapping through Wi-Fi. Now
Transaction can.
it comes to yes. Now it comes to Paytms, or maybe Google Pay. So this is it's a revolution into digitalization.
Yeah, I think you have
Even
made it
nowadays,
very.
this banks is also going towards the digitalization. Like if you see earlier days, there is only a nationalized bank or corporate banks. Nowadays, there is a virtual bank like Geo Money, Ola Money. All you can say these are the digitalization, product of digitalization.
No, no, you're absolutely correct on that because there's a lot of developments happening, and then based on my interaction with a lot of SME business owners, digitalization is definitely one of the way forward. But one of the stumbling point for digitalization is the cost. And then
Yes.
there are many businesses who are sort of keen to get into that. The cost becomes a very difficult. Just a thought from yours or your views. How do businessmen prioritize digitalization versus savings?
No, I understand, but see, there is something should be must. Like if you adapt the automation or adapt the technology, you can grow your business. You can improve your productivity. So that should be our nowadays. That should be, or that must be our part of our life, or say business life, right? And secondly, when you say it's a cost. Yes, of course, digitalization or automation has a cost. But I suggest this SMEs or MSMEs, like they should go say step by step approach. Should not go like I wanted to do a complete automation. Say I'm a, for example, I'm a some manufacturer, so I'll not do a complete automation, which will cost it's much more. But I can do a step by step with the audit. Say what is my requirement. So that is important to identify that steps, and early is always the better.
So can you just elaborate and tell us how should a person, like suppose I am a manufacturing company and I'm looking at implementing an ERP solution in my organization. Uh,
Okay.
what should be the process I should follow? I am currently very happy with a very low cost accounting tool like Tally or similar,
Mhm.
and I'm going to implement an ERP, but the cost is very exorbitant. There are a few players who are big and they reliable and big, and but the cost is high. I'm not sure whether I should go for a customizable product which is need to be which can be developed by a local software vendor. So, what is the
Mhm.
process I should follow to look at implementing an ERP solution in my organization?
Basically, I'll tell you this is when you compare with the any of the product. Say, for example, I understand that you are comparing with the one of the ERP system with the local body or local with the Tally. So, if you go into comparison, no, so you should be having an apple to apple comparison like that. So, what is the benefit you are getting? You are fully convinced when you are thinking to improve from Tally to SAP or ERP. So you are convinced that that is a beneficial to you. So that instinct come from your side, say that I wanted to go with this, and this will grow my productivity. Now there is a step, small steps you have to take, that how I can implement this. Like there is some way, like for example, I'll give you the example of ISM Maharashtra section, which is a non-profit organization. But we wanted to go through all these things. Like we wanted to go to say abide with the law of lands. So we have a GST, we have a PAN card, we have, because we are not dealing anything, but we have to have this all these things. So for the small things, we cannot go through many of the things. It's like many of the say you for a manufacturer, small manufacturers, you cannot think to go to complete change of ERP, but you can change the, say you can take a blocks of ERPs or maybe the blocks of SAPs. You can take a help of third party of the ERPs, which is a smaller vendor who provide a service to the 7 8 small people.
Hmm.
So you
Hmm.
can, there are ways and out for the all the things, but that is a instinct between the uh, in between yourself that you should convince for that for the automation.
Fine. So, thank you very much, Vaibhav, for clarifying this. I think what we can understand from you is the automation is the way forward for any business to grow. And
Yes,
if you are in engineering and if you are an engineering a student or an engineering background and running an organization, being part of ISA will definitely help him to know more about what's happening in the industry and the
right.
field of automation. What is kind of advice you would like to give a young engineer who's just in the college and uh, most of it, and there's a lot of I don't know whether you have seen this WhatsApp circulations going on recently about the right kind of engineers who can create new products or design new products are not much is available. Vis-a-vis people are very keen to do coding and go to the computer part of the engineering. So, any advice for the engineers in terms of to look at designing or creating new product lines and what should they should and what kind of scope they have in future for them?
So basically, really this is a very important question because I'll tell you, I am pass out in 2002, or say 20 years of experience with the engineering, and say this is very say crucial thing where engineering colleges or engineering industry, I called as engineering industry, is facing the issues with the core subject. For example, what I just elaborate my statement. The manufacturing companies or the engineering companies which they are with the core their subject, they are not getting a good engineers, and those who are good, they wanted to really go towards the software, or maybe the, as you well said, coding, and then SAP, like sub streams of the engineering, or maybe that just core things for the software engineer or maybe IT engineers, like that. So basically, the industry is facing issue with this. So students say don't want to say think about the designing of the products nowadays. They willing to go with the say uh, I can say intelligence with the engineering, like robotics, mechatronics, which is the advanced one. But for the basics, people don't want to go that there. But the solution is that our university should think about this. That our university should include curriculum or design a curriculum like that. So students gets say interest in these subjects, because ours is still, I think, I believe, the we are 10 years back with the education system. So universities should think about this, and many of the universities are thinking. Matlab, I'm really happy to see the many of the colleges are not taking a direct exams nowadays. They have some different systems to evaluate a student.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that
yeah.
our university should think in that pattern to give us a good this one. And nowadays there is one trend I personally observed, or we have observed. There are some management trainees, instrumentation trainees, or engineer training. So these trainees is really required for the industry, because this period, say, when somebody comes from the college, and this period gives the complete idea of their future. See, they wanted to stay with the engineering, core engineering, or they wanted to move out from the core engineering and go to the other aspect of the engineering, which gives you the faster money. Maybe that may be the
Yeah.
reason, because SAP coding, they are giving a faster money.
Mhm.
But you realize this after 10, 20 years, because many friend of mine, they wanted to come up to the core now.
Mr. Narka, thank you very much. I think we had a very good discussion. Good to know
Thank you very
more
much.
about clears a lot of information, and I'm sure people who are engineers would be very happy to know more about it, and they can be part of ISA in future, and they can reach you or any other regions to understand and see how they can join this. Thank you very much for your time, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you very much, sir.
So that was Mr. Vaibhav Nakar from ISA Maharashtra chapter. Thank you very much for watching SMB Connect Spotlight. If you need to ask any questions about ISA Maharashtra or ISA Global and want to be part of it, do let us know, and we will have this answered from Mr. Narkar itself. Do watch and subscribe our video on our YouTube channel. There are a lot of information for your business available there. Also, follow us on social media like Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Insta. We have regular updates on SME ecosystem there. Apart from that, you can register on your business at Local and Vocal Online, online portal from SMB Connect, where we promote your business globally. The registration currently is free. Once again, thank you very much for watching. Do join us for our next session on the Spotlight Show.